When my dragons are grown, we will take back what was stolen from me.
They can live in my new world, or they can die in their old one.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all keeping well. If you're new to my channel, my name is Julie and you are really welcome to be here this evening. What I'm going to be doing in tonight's video is I'm going to be talking about Game of Thrones. And I have watched all the episodes up to now. I'm just waiting to watch the 6th episode. And I just wanted to kind of talk on it, particularly about pretty much Daenerys Targaryen's character, because I know there's a lot of people that are very upset with her character. And one thing I want to say is very quickly is I'm going to be adding a video of Daenerys Targaryen, played by Emilia Clarke, at the end of what I want to say, which will basically show Daenerys throughout this sort of seasons, not just season 8, but throughout the seasons of this show, where it does give us signs and it shows that this was coming. I mean, I personally myself seen it coming, but I just really want to quickly say, before I show that clip of her, that I do feel, yes, that the writers didn't do a good job on her character. I really don't in this season 8. It has been very rushed, just in general. But for me, you know, here's the thing about Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has never been a fan service type show, which I don't think a lot of people are sort of getting. They have never went for fan service, in other words, what people are expecting. They always have these twists and turns. I mean, look at even, you know, the first series, you know, characters like Sean Bean, who was in The Lord of the Rings. You know, people were annoyed at that. People are always left after every season going, gosh, I really hated that character, Dan, I really hated this, I really hated that. That is Game of Thrones. Now, for me, it has been going downhill since season 5, in my opinion. I loved season 1 to season 4 the most. And although this season is my least favourite, so it's my least favourite, right? I haven't hated it like other people have. There has been good parts to it, and visually it is absolutely breathtaking. Like, there's certain scenes, honestly, that is just beautiful. And there is parts of it that I don't mind, honestly. But yes, there is. I have quite a few things that I didn't like. For example, I felt the whole winter is coming in season 8 for me was pretty disappointing, as it just came and went sort of thing. And that whole episode was just way too dark, cinematography wise, and seemed pretty pointless. And also the whole romance between Jon Snow and Daenerys could have been a good idea if it had been done better from a writer's sort of a standpoint, and if it wasn't so rushed. Not even more so that it was so rushed, but it was more like, it seemed more like a rom-com to me. You know, Daenerys met his family, and, you know, they didn't like her, they didn't take to her, and, you know, came across to me as pretty much lazy writing. But to me, I do understand Daenerys going mad, right? But I just feel that they rushed her character too much, right? But to me, there has been many signs throughout the seasons, as I was saying there at the start of the video, and to sort of show us and give us that indication. So I'm going to explain. If you can remember in season 2, when Daenerys said, "When all my dragons are grown, we will lay waste to armies and burn cities to the ground." Well, that sounds pretty familiar if you ask me, guys. And also, you know, even think, you know, Daenerys even told Jon Snow that her dragons were her children. They were like her babies, right? So losing 2 of her children, as she called them, would have been pretty soul destroying. It really would have been. And as well, if you can remember Cersei, when she said, half the Targaryens went mad, didn't they? What's the saying? Every time a Targaryen is born, the god flips a coin. So, you know what I mean? Like, if you kind of read more into things, you know what I mean, and go back on the seasons and rewatch, and these are only some examples, guys. This isn't all of the examples. I have many more that I could go over, but I don't want to make this a super long video. But in season 4, Daenerys executes over 100 nobles from the city of Meereen. And then when she found out later on in season 4, I think it was season 4, episode 6 or something like that, but she found out that some of them were innocent. But yet she didn't really seem too, like, bothered about it. She didn't seem too fazed when she found out that information. So, you know, if you think about that for a second as well, And also, she had also said, they can live in my new world or they can die in their old one. So, you know, even think on that. And I mean, even think, guys, right? The loss of her dragons alone would really send her mad as well. She lost Miss Sandy, she lost all her advisors, anybody advisor-wise that she was left with, she didn't exactly trust. You know, she knew in the end that, you know, with the information that Jon Snow found out, you know, he wouldn't even go to kiss her back and things like that. And then she was also thinking in her mind as well, you know, his sister Sansa and all that there isn't going to want to take to me as queen. You know, she's never going to see me as queen. Do you know what I mean? And then as well, you know, if you think as well, Tyrion kept saying to her as well, you know, pretty much saying like, you know, you're going mad like your father, because her father was a madman. He was a nutter. And that's her father we're talking about, so think on that too. And, you know, he was sort of trying to say to her, you know, your father, you know, was ruling people, but they felt in fear of him, do you know what I mean? And you don't really want to rule in fear sort of thing. And he was trying to advise her and saying, you know, you don't want to pretty much end up like your father, you know, and go mad. So that as well, before this happened, that before she was on her dragon and went nuts, it was fairly obvious, guys, it really was. But to me, you know, I stated in one of my last videos that I just could not understand. I was shouting at the TV, guys, honestly. Now, I do watch it on an app on my phone, but I sort of like throw it onto my TV sort of thing, because I don't have Sky or HBO or whatever. But basically, I was shouting and saying, like, why, like, go over? And, like, I was actually shouting, Emilia Clarke, just go over in your friggin' dragon and burn Cersei in the Red Keep. But, you know, even that as well, you know, looking over at the Red Keep and the bells and everything ringing, that would have really struck a nerve for her and really upset her. As well, guys, when Missandei got killed, if you think the last word that she said when Cersei was pretty much saying, you know, if you have any sort of last things that you want to say or any last words, you know, now would be a good time, or whatever it was she said, right? I don't know word for word, but something along those lines, very close to it. And Missandei just said, Dracarys, you know? And if you think of what that word means, do you know what I mean? So she's probably sitting on her dragon remembering that, and everything is going through her head. She has been through a massive, massive amount of things as character from season 1. I'm not going to name them all because we'll be here all day, guys. But, you know, she has went through all these things, and then she finds out last minute pretty much that Jon Snow is actually the rightful heir. And then everything that has just recently happened, especially in season 8. But, you know, here's the thing. I wonder, are people actually just thinking on season 8, or are they remembering everything else that she went through? This is what I'm not understanding. So she's probably sitting on her dragon and thinking of Missandei as well. That's went through her head, everything else went through her head. And then she's rethought about Missandei, and she's remembered visually her standing up there going, Dracarys. And then she's probably thinking, do you know what? Frig it. I'm going to just keep saying Dracarys here and just burn the place down. But anyways, the other thing I wanted to say as well, guys, was see people here saying, oh, I don't get it, how her character went mad in season 8 because, you know, she's lost things before and bad things have happened to her and she didn't go mad. So that's, I'm sorry, but anybody who actually has said that is absolute utter arrogant, because if you think about it, right, that's like trying to say to me, if I go through 7 or 10 traumatizing things in my life, really serious life-threatening things, and I don't lose it, or I don't go like crazy or stir crazy or anything like that, and then a couple of years down the line another several things happen to upset my life and massively be life-threatening, that I shouldn't have lost it. Like, say I go out blown crazy and just start going nuts and going mad, like Daenerys did. Obviously I don't have a dragon, but you know what I mean, guys, right? I'm going around the street and going nuts. Well, that's who's to say that I wouldn't go nuts? Because just because something happened, 7 awful things happened to me a few years ago, and then a couple of years later, you know, something really traumatizing happens again, but it's like a build up of more things, and there's maybe 6 or 7 things that happens within the space of a few days or space of a couple of weeks. So I'm not entitled to go nuts, outblown nuts, just because 3 years ago or 4 years ago or whatever, awful things didn't make me go nuts before or in the past. That doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't understand where people are getting this from. I just don't understand, honestly. But, I mean, it was more than obvious that she was going to lose it, right? Lose everything, just go nuts, right? But yes, I agree with what people are saying, and I see why people are annoyed. They made her out to be this lovely person and yada yada. But let's face it, just because they didn't develop the character right, it doesn't mean to say that there's a name for it. I can't remember what the word is, but it's like shadowing or something like that. I can't remember what the correct sort of term for it is. But anyways, they have been showing us throughout these seasons, and if you just don't get it, then go back and watch the seasons.
I offer you a choice. Bend the knee and join me. Together, we will leave the world a better place than we found it.
I am a queen, not a butcher.
Or refuse. And die.
All rulers are either butchers or meat.
She'll be a good queen.
I'm not my father.
She's not her father. You stop beheading entire
I'm
families.
not beheading anyone.
Now she's much prettier. Dracarys.
Burn them all!
But the Mad King gave his enemies the justice he thought they deserved.
I will answer injustice with justice.
And each time, it made him feel powerful and right.
Enough with the clever plans. I have 3 large dragons. I'm going to fly them to the Red Keep.
If you want to sit on the throne your ancestors built, you must win it.
We've discussed this.
My enemies are in the Red Keep.
Tens of thousands of innocents will die.
The blood of my enemies, not the blood of innocents.
These are the people you came here to protect.
If that's the kind of queen you want to be, how are you different from all the other tyrants that came before you?
I am not here to be Queen of the Ashes.
Do not become what you have always struggled to defeat.
I know the Mad King earned his name. I'm here to free the world from tyrants.
But what great thing has ever been accomplished without killing or cruelty?
That is my destiny. And I will serve it no matter the cost.
They won't obey you unless they fear you.
I have a gift for you as well. Your life.
When my dragons are grown, we will take back what was stolen from me.
They can live in my new world, or they can die in their old one. I will crucify the masters. I will set their fleets afire, kill every last one of their soldiers, and return their cities to the dirt.
And destroy those who wronged me. We will lay waste to armies and burn cities to the ground.
And you have been known to lose your temper from time to time.
When have I lost my temper?
What kind of person climbs on a fucking dragon? A madman!
Reject this gift, and I shall show you no mercy.
I worry about his state of mind.
Dracarys.
Say, get your fee. Asher Gilikath, Asilakira.
I am Daenerys Stormborn of the blood of old Valyria, and I will take what is mine. With fire and blood, I will take it.
You are mad.
Ieri vocece. Ieri vadrivoi.
Dracarys!
We should know whom to blame when the sky falls down upon them.
Dracarys!
You're a dragon. Be a dragon.